Gabby, how confident are you going into the postseason?
I'm pretty confident. I'm more confident in our ability to fight for each other and our ability to work hard and get better each day.
It's been said that UK is considered like a libero U. To be libero player of the year in the SEC, what does it mean to have that momentum in your favor going into the tournament?
It means a lot. I think that UK takes pride in passing and ball control and defense. So I think coming into this program with that expectation and then playing behind Ashley Dushek has just set a standard for me, and I hope to set the standard for those behind me.
You all have so much experience in a tournament. That's an obvious question, but how does that help you?
I would say, obviously, the experience is good to be in big moments, like I heard a coach say. But last year, or the last 2 years, just with BYU, number one, winning that match, and that's as a young freshman, and then number two last year, just being in a big moment with Nebraska and not pulling it out, but just learning through that just puts us at an advantage and allows us to be our best.
Why do you think this team's good enough to make it the deepest run that it can?
I'd say the depth we have, number one, and then number two, just the experience. We have a really good senior class and then a good junior class that can lead the way and maybe help some of the younger players just come alongside of them and then play their best.
Speaking of your seniors, how good is Leah Edmond, do you think? I mean, you've seen a lot of players.
I mean, you guys have seen her. You guys know as much as I do, but the best athlete I've ever played with, number one, and number two, the best worker or hard worker. So.
You didn't get Nebraska this time on the bracket. How bad were you all wanting that, or were you all kind of happy to face a different opponent second weekend, potentially?
Yeah, obviously it's great to play anybody in the Big Ten, so we would have been happy with either or, but obviously it's great to play someone else and see if we can meet them later on.
Do you know anything about the opponents you all have in the region?
Actually, I was just asking them. I don't know much about anybody, but Michigan's always has a good program, so that's good. And then I'm excited to maybe play Washington and Baylor. So forth.
Recognizing that you guys have put last year's tournament loss behind you, is there still that kind of hunger to finish what you all started last year?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that we've won now 3 SEC championships, so we're always talking about the next step, the next championship we can win. So I think just going in thinking let's do our best the next day and get 1% better is going to be our way to go.
What about getting to host tournament games? How does that impact the game, and what advantage does that have for you guys?
The best advantage is obviously our home court, but I think just the scheduling. So we're about to start going into finals week, so now we can prepare this week for the next 3 weeks. And schoolwork, putting all of that aside so we can solely focus on volleyball is key.
How confident are you going into the postseason?
I think I'm taking it how I'm taking every postseason. If you make it into the tournament, you must have done something. You are a good team. So I think I'm taking it with a grain of salt. I know that the teams that are in our region right now are really good, and they're going to give us their all. They don't care if we're Kentucky. They don't care if we won the SEC. They're coming here and they want to beat us on our home court. So
you obviously have become a back-to-back SEC Player of the Year, and you've done a lot. Everyone knows what you've done here at Kentucky, but going into your last tournament run, how much does it feel like there's some unfinished business that you have to take care of?
I think it's always felt like that. Since we lost in the Elite Eight, we've always been that so close, one game away, one set away from getting to the Final Four. So going into my last one, I want to do everything possible to make sure that we make it to the Final Four.
Bitter taste in your mouth from last year?
What did you say?
Bitter taste in your mouth from last year?
A little bit, especially losing to Nebraska twice in a row. I think I want to change the story, and I don't want that to be the third year, but it won't be because they're not in our region, so won't have to worry about that till maybe the Final Four. But yeah, definitely want to fix how we ended the past couple seasons.
How thankful are you to have at least one more weekend here at Memorial?
It's a big deal to me, especially being from Lexington. Memorial's always been a special place to me ever since I committed here, and so being able to spend one more weekend here with my friends and my family and my teammates is just really special for me.
What does it mean to you, though? It's not a coincidence that 3 straight titles, back-to-back Player of the Year. You've done some good stuff. I mean, what does that mean to you to help carry this program?
I just think it shows the people we've been recruiting, because it's not just me. I can't get awards if I don't have the people around me. So I think it just shows just how we've built and grown as a program, even from before I was here, that we can do things like this and we can have this many award winners. And I think that also shows what Craig has been doing as a coach himself, producing great players and recruiting great people.
The fact that so many of your players have not only tournament experience, but you've made deep runs, you and your teammates. Obvious question, but how does that help you?
I think just having experience just like in the big moments. So we've had teams that were with us when we went down 0-2, and so they know how that feels. Or like last year when we came through here and we swept. So we know every feeling that you could possibly have in the tournament, and being able to control those emotions since we know what we're doing is just a lot better going into the tournament than going in there not knowing anything.
What was Saturday like for you? I mean, I know you root for that football team for obvious reasons, and you guys had a pretty good day.
Yeah, it was way more emotional than I thought I was going to be. The fact that like I didn't even have my flowers yet and I was crying was a lot. My mom was like staring at me. My dad and Nick were like, what is going on with her right now? But yeah, it was just a lot of emotions, and it was a lot for my family, but it was like really fun to know that like my dad got to keep up with our game even though the football game was going on, and the first thing I heard as soon as our game was over that we were winning. So it was just a fun time for my family.
Your dad's a pretty intense guy, as a lot of people know, and he's pushed you a lot. Is there any specific advice he's given you going into the first round of the tournament?
I think throughout my career, he's always just wanted me to be myself. Like, don't worry about trying to produce for everybody else, be you, and that's enough. And I think that's something he's always harped into me and my brother, that like what we're doing is good enough and the hard work that we put in is good enough.
I was interviewing him on one of those recruiting telecasts we do, and he happened to come by. And I just asked him about you, and I used the word great. And he kind of looks under his eyebrows and he goes, she's not great. Has he always pushed, and you are, but has he always pushed you like that?
To my dad, I have not done anything good yet because I haven't accomplished everything. And so I think once I make it to the Final Four, knowing that that's my biggest goal, then he'll be like, okay, now you might be good, but you haven't won a national championship yet, so now you got to go do that. But yeah, I know he's proud of me, but he also pushes me to know that there's still way more that I can do and way more that I can help this team do.
You can always hit him with your SEC championship rings.
You're right.
And then run.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate you coming out.